What's more fun?
Pain. Yeah. Getting a 80% in school doesn't mean that you're good at something.
I think we're all drawn to things that we're good at. And we feel like what things that we're good at is what's going to make us money.
The UK, the way I saw it was doctors and nurses are basically at parallel.
Wow.
I know guys that have worked 5 different clinics.
That's crazy.
Which basically means you're working 1 clinic a day.
Wait, what? So Ivan,
Yes.
why don't you introduce yourself and tell me a little about your accomplishments and who you are today?
Yeah, so I'm a registered physiotherapist. I did my undergrad at York University in kinesiology. After that, going through school, I kind of knew what I wanted to do because I felt like I put myself in a box where kin was just like either doctor or physiotherapy. I realized I couldn't be a doctor because I just didn't have the capacity to study like that. So I decided to go to physio school.
When did you realize you didn't have the capacity for it?
First year. First semester.
So before that, you knew you wanted to be a doctor, though?
Yeah, that was like after at high school, right? Like when I went to high school, I applied to like different schools for like health-based. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to do medicine. That was my plan. Then first, like literally, honestly, probably the first week of school, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to medicine.
What was the, I wouldn't say the sad realization that first year, but what was the turning point for you? Like the point where like just to give you a perspective, I played League for a very long time, League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
I realized at a very good point in my career, I'm not that guy. And so I stopped playing League eventually, right? And so what was that point where you're like, this is just, I can't see myself doing this?
You know how like in high school they teach you like, everything's like spoon-fed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? Like it's like you don't do the homework and you know when the tests are and you do them. And in between there's like little things you do like homework and they'll check in like, okay, you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. In school, it's like university, it's like, here you go.
Good luck.
Decide what you want to do with it, but there's an exam on this day, just be ready for it. And I was like, shit, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I couldn't prepare myself like that. I actually preferred like, I think I was so used to it because I think in elementary school, high school, it was like, here's everything, here's all the information, and this is all you need to know. But in university, it wasn't like that. It was like, what do I think the teacher wants me to know for this exam?
Subjective.
Right? And I'm like, oh shoot, like, just give me all this information all piled up, and there's a midterm and a final, and that's all there is. And
60-40.
Like, it wasn't, yeah.
60-40.
Right? Yeah,
oh my
60-40.
God.
Or like, hey, if you don't want to do midterm, we'll bump it all into 100%, 100% into the final. And I'm like,
oh my God.
bro, like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny because it's the same thing in business as well. Like, I remember getting my first 60-40 exam, and then him saying, people who fail the midterm, they just fail the final. So if you fail the midterm, just drop out. You save your money. And I'm like,
yes, exactly.
And I'm like, wait, sir, you can't be serious. I'm serious. Just drop out.
Yeah.
You get below a 60, just drop out.
Yes.
I'm
like all those like stat classes, I was like, oh shoot.
Stats 1?
That's crazy. I was like, what am I doing? Like I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was crazy. I'm good at math, and I still found stats 1 challenging. Then I took stats 2, and I'm like, why is this a requirement for my job? And then don't we take calculus on top of this?
Yes,
like, I'm a business student. Like, I'm not solving world problems here. Why am I taking? Anyways, that's besides the point.
Dude, I'm basically a bio major, right? A glorified bio major, and I'm learning like statistics and math, like calculus 1. And I was like, bro, I thought I was done calculus after high school.
You're sitting here, you're trying to be a healthcare worker. You're just like, so what's the vector of this? Cool. Well, obviously that was an unpleasant sort of experience to realize that the role was shot. Do you feel like it would have been easier for you if there was things that you could have done, or they made it a bit more easier for you to digest? Like, was the hurdle so strong?
Honestly,
in that first year?
I think overall going into university, no one really prepares you. Like in high school, like guidance counselors, even teachers in general don't really prepare you well enough to understand what university is really about. Like, I wish they did. That way I could have kind of be more informed of like what I'm expected to do in school. I probably might have changed my direction. That's the one thing I think.
What direction would you feel now you would have taken back then? I know it's a very hindsight question, but.
Yeah. But I would say I probably would have went into more like business side or even like tech side of like school or focus on something like that. Whereas like, because when you go to school, it's like, it seems like so nice. Like, oh, I'm going to university, I'm going to be a doctor or whatever, like physio, whatever you want. And then after you finish on the other side, you're just like, oh shoot, like maybe this is really not it for me. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned it because when I was in university, when I even went to university, I wanted to be a CA. This is before it's CPA now. Now we have CPA, but back then it was CA, and I was good at math. And so I took accounting, and I realized I don't like doing things that I'm good at.
Yeah.
And so I switched to finance, and I thought maybe being a finance bro, Wall Street was the calling for me. And I realized also I don't like this. I'm good at math, but I don't like this. And so you figure out certain things, or you're. I think the biggest call out that I'd make, and I'm sure this applies to you as well, is that I think we're all drawn to things that we're good at, and we feel like what things that we're good at is what's going to make us money.
I think we think we're good at. I think that's the one thing that is at least how I perceive, like, oh, I feel like I'm good at it. That's what I'm going to do. And I wish if someone called me like, you're actually not good at this, I think that would have changed my perspective on like, okay, maybe I gotta think things through, like balance out, like, hey, is this the right direction or is that the right direction?
Where do you feel like that needed to come?
Honestly, like in high, like, I don't want to say it, but like getting a 80% in school doesn't mean that you're good at something.
That's fair.
Right? Like if you were getting 100%, sure, yeah, you basically understand all the information you can like keep in your head. But like getting 80s and making myself think, yo, that's an A. An A is good. So then I want to keep going to that direction. That's what happened. That's really why I went to sciences. But then grade 12 hit. I nearly failed physics.
Jesus.
And I was like, damn, I can't go into medical.
Physics is a test,
100%, I cannot be in medical school now.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, this is because like they need all those three sciences, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, biology, okay, I'm kind of coasting it. I can do well, so I decided to go that route. That's really how I went into kin.
Well, was all of these decisions, all of these like factors of like not factors, but all of these educational points that you had, physics, obviously chemistry, you had to take biology. Were these all things that you felt like you needed to do because you were good at, or is it because mom and dad wanted you to be a doctor?
Doctor was really just like the sign.
Yeah,
was,
for
like,
sure.
My mom,
glorified.
my mom and dad were like, yeah, that side, that's where you're going. And so I was like, math was okay, but I didn't think that I was good enough to be like engineer or anything. And I didn't really know much about what engineering what truly it was, right? So then I was like, okay, I guess science it is. And then when I was applying for university, it was all science-based courses. Anything that was going to get me into med school. That was the plan.
Well, so when you decided to switch fields from that first year realization that doctor, not being a doctor ain't for me, and what were the other choices you had in front of you, and what made you decide going into physiotherapy?
Luckily enough, like at York, there was a specialty certification program that was concurrent with my kin degree, which was athletic therapy. At that time, once I realized medicine wasn't for me, I had to think quickly. I'm like, what am I going to do with this kin degree? So then the first thing I really thought was like physio, and that was it. That was the goal. I was like, hey, if I don't get into physio school, then I'm basically shit out of luck.
Yeah.
I got to figure something out when I finish school. And I also didn't want to like tell my parents like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
That parental.
I don't know why. Like I just feel like telling them like, oh, I'm going to give up and like do something else was like such a terrible thing.
For sure.
So I just like, I'm going to grind it out and go all the way. So then second year came and I applied for this York athletic therapy program. In essence, it's really a part of physio. Like physio is made up of like basically like three pillars of different parts of like the body, which is neuromuscular, cardiorespiratory, and musculoskeletal. So athletic therapy is basically focused only on musculoskeletal. Generally, I'm not saying like it doesn't check out on those other things. And what they do are those guys that are, at the sports games watching, athletes play. And if they get injured, they're the first to be on site to be like, okay, what's going on? Can you play? Can you not play? And kind of dictate that. And then you can also do the rehab portion when it's not game time. And that's kind of my first experience with the physio side of things. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is fun. Like, I actually really enjoyed it.
Makala, that sounds dope.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I was also like 20 years old, and I'm like, there's no commitment or anything. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is cool. I want to travel with the team. It was really fun. And everyone was like my age. Like, I was working with university athletes.
Yeah.
And it worked really well for me. And after I finished the certificate program and the kin degree, I was like, oh, physio is going to be a breeze. I'm definitely going to physio school. And that was my plan after I finished. However, schooling here in Ontario is really, really competitive.
Yeah, extremely.
So obviously, med school wasn't something that I could achieve. At least I didn't think so. So I thought physio was going to be attainable. However, my marks weren't that great. So that was another problem. It was another hurdle. I was like, damn, man, like I thought I was doing pretty well. Like,
yeah. And then you realize the ocean's so much more larger.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, what can I do And basically what happened was I applied abroad.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you even come to that conclusion?
For which part?
Like the whole applying abroad part. It's like, hey, like obviously things are very tough here, for
Yes,
sure. And
yes.
so, like, did you know that this was an option that you had available in front of you? And secondly, where did you get the resources to find out what abroad schools would be, applicable
Yeah,
to you?
so at the time, I actually don't remember the resource that helped me.
Okay.
Because there was this like third party kind of like helping students from Canada find different schools. So it was Australia, or all the English speaking countries, so Australia and the UK specifically, how to kind of apply abroad for physio school. And I was speaking with them and they were able to connect me with different schools. I was cheap. I didn't want to pay for application fees, and UK was the only schools that would have free applications. So you just apply. So yeah, kind of going back in 2016, I finished my degree and I got my license as an athletic therapist.
Okay.
So athletic trainer, whatever you want to call it.
Dope. You can train the Raptors. They're winning a goddamn
Yes,
championship.
so technically, yeah, technically. So what happened was at that time, I applied for a school, physio school in the UK, and I also tried to apply for an internship with the Los Angeles LA Galaxy
Oh,
soccer
wow.
team.
The soccer team.
Yeah. So at the same time, they're like, hey, we'll take you on as a athletic trainer intern. And then I also got accepted to school. At that point was like where I really had to make a really firm decision of like what I wanted to do. Because I could have easily went to the professional sports direction and just done that and not care about physio. And that would have like really changed the trajectory of where I am today. But then, I was like, okay, what's more stable? What's kind of more accepted in my family kind of thing? And I was like, I think physio school, at least on paper, it's like, okay, we all kind of know what physios do. Athletic therapists, athletic trainers, a little bit difficult to explain.
It's vague.
Unless like you are like you know what it is.
Unless you train LeBron James.
Yeah, exactly. It's like yeah, if I did, then everyone would know me,
No,
right?
so you're
Then,
good,
yeah,
you're
that's
good, you're
great. Yeah, but like if I'm just gonna work with like some like midget AAA hockey, whatever, then like no one's really gonna know who I am.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to work, I think, if you don't go professional.
So hindsight's 2020 now. Looking back,
Yes.
obviously you've spent years in the field now, and you're obviously really good at what you do now.
Yeah.
Going back now.
Yes.
And that fork in the road, what would you have done?
I still probably would have chosen physios.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's reassuring. Yeah, it's
yeah.
reassuring. I'm not gonna lie. Part of me was like, I would have been like, yo, I'm chasing LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm
Part
chasing-
of me is like, oh yes, but like if you think about it, the NBA has what 30 teams.
Yeah.
So that means there's only about 30 jobs.
Isn't it assistants and stuff like that too?
Sure, yeah, fine. We'll say 60 jobs,
Yeah.
right?
And that's not a lot.
It's not a lot of jobs.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
opportunity is really tough, and I don't know if I would actually have been able to commit there if I couldn't even commit to like thinking I could make medical school.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah, no, I'm not here to put you on the spot like that.
No,
but,
no,
like, it's just a
yeah.
fair question because for a lot of people, like there's like those questions of that what if question is
Yes.
very prevalent to everyone, including myself. There's moments in for myself when I said I don't want to be a CA anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on my taxation exam. I'm like, do I just leave now?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I leave right now, I can get my money back.
No, I totally feel you. I feel you on that one.
But cool. Well, I guess we should probably move on. As you went to UK, how was that experience? And as you go into that experience, one thing I want to sort of tie back into is what's something that no one tells you about physiotherapy school? We'll talk about the experience in the UK first. We'll go with that first.
Sure. The UK. I mean, like, it kind of like when I went to school there, that first, or not the first day, I would say by like not halfway, maybe halfway of the first semester, it made me feel like I was back in first year university again, because no one was teaching me anything. They're just saying information and expecting me to like kind of figure things out in my own terms. And I was like, damn, I don't know if I can do this. Like I actually felt that way in that first semester, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it through.
That first semester, even just getting your feet wet, you're just like,
Yeah.
this is too intense.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, like they actually don't. I thought they'd be teaching me more concrete things,
Yeah.
like levels or some sort of like stages, but they didn't. It was just kind of like
Information.
a bunch of information that I had to kind of select and like kind of interpret it in my way and like do more research to confirm whether it's like right or wrong.
It's a lot of self-teaching.
It was a lot of self-teaching, and then I was like, damn, I don't know if I can make through. If I could do this for 2 years, like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work out. Because it really did feel like I was like, I'm not gonna finish med school or like go to med school.
Well, what changed that?
I had a really good support system. I had a couple Canadian friends that were there, and even the people there were very nice in general. So we were all like kind of working together. But once I kind of was able to kind of accept how they taught, it was a little bit easier to grasp.
So
But I would say like not until the last day of the last semester, I wasn't sure if I was gonna pass.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how
crazy.
intense it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be stressing.
Yeah,
I'd be
because like
stressing.
here it's like, a lot of multiple choice stuff, right? Like we grew up like doing multiple
Yeah,
choice.
I'd pick C.
Yeah, right. Like whereas there like they don't do multiple choice.
What?
Everything is written like
Oh my God, I gotta write an
paragraphs and like
essay?
yeah.
Oh,
and I was
my
like,
Lord.
I was like, shoot, like what the hell is this? And then I had to do a thesis, and then I'd never done one before.
Yeah.
But then everyone in my class that grew up in the UK
Do
or in
thesis.
Europe, they do thesis all the time.
2 plus 2 is-
undergrad.
Sick, 2
And I was
plus
like, what the hell?
What's some advice you would give to yourself in that moment now? Looking back, obviously you had to pass those trials and tribulations to
yeah.
get to where you are. You mentioned right now, even the last exam, you had no idea whether you're going to pass or not.
Yeah.
Looking back now, obviously we're going to do a lot of flashbacks now.
Yeah.
So as a flashback now, and you see your younger self now, what's something you would tell him to do right there that would improve his life dramatically, leading him to the point of exam so he's not stressed out?
I tell a lot of this to a lot of like people that want to study abroad. Don't.
Don't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like you think like the schooling part's actually the easy part. Coming back is the hardest part.
Oh, getting accustomed to back, like living at home.
Yeah. Like unless you decide to stay in the UK, like that's fine.
Why
It's
did
actually
you-
really easy.
Why did you stay in the UK?
Money.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a fair assessment. Yeah,
Money.
it's the pound over there is
No, I mean,
savage.
well, the pound's better than us. That's,
I mean,
that's
like
not
just
the
to be
problem.
able to, I guess, get a place.
No, not even that. It's
Well-
just they pay less, way
Oh,
significantly. Like
interesting.
as here there's a hierarchy of like professions, right, in the medical field. Surgeons obviously is top tier. Like like these guys
Doctors,
get paid big money.
nurses.
Doctors, again, we respect them. We know they make money as well. We all know nurses like they work really hard, overworked, and then they also get paid pretty well at X amount of
person.
years.
Yeah.
But even then, like I'm sure if you ask them, like, is it worth it? Like the amount of hours to your pay, it's like probably not. Whereas in the UK, the way I saw it was doctors and nurses are basically at parallel.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, I don't want to do that. Like, no, it's like that's not what I intended to do. So I was like, I'm definitely coming back, like 100% right away. Yeah, because the physio there is more like a part of public health, whereas like here it's more privatized. So
It's crazy because we live in Canada where, most people would be like, no, it's not.
Yeah. So I mean, it's privatized here, so you make better.
Yeah,
You do better. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, I did not, to be honest, I did not know that. I didn't even think that, you're the first person I would say don't study abroad because most people would be like, get out of
The
here.
experience is fun. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Like I got to travel. I got to see
Yeah.
a lot of things I would have seen.
Was there anything different from UK schooling than here schooling?
That's really I can't answer that question because I can only answer based on like what I've experienced in the UK. Here, I think again in that even in the master's program, you are more taught about things like here's the injuries and here's generally how you treat and do these things. Whereas in the UK, it wasn't really like that.
It was like free learning.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess, now you're obviously going solo. You're kind of an independent contractor,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
And then you also worked at a clinic. Why go solo? What was the falling of the
Compared to what?
Or being in the clinic? Like why going solo versus being in the clinic?
Going solo.
Aren't you an independent contractor?
I am.
Yeah. So like.
So the thing is, I am hired on as an independent contractor,
Okay.
but I work at
a clinic still.
a clinic still.
Ah.
Yeah, like I'm not traveling around doing my own thing.
So yeah, what are the biggest benefits for you on your side of the business?
I think because I get to do business write-offs.
Business write-offs.
Yeah, business
I hear this a lot.
Yeah,
I hear this a lot.
because we kind of because we generally like most of us have multiple jobs. Like it's not like we stick at one location. Like I've known guys that have worked 5 different clinics,
That's crazy.
which basically means you're working one clinic a day, right?
That's crazy.
And at that point, like if we were salaried, then we'd be losing a lot of money in terms of like be able to write off certain things like gas, right? Like you're traveling
Traveling, yeah.
from one place to another, different time, like different days, right? If you go far, you can do a little bit more in terms of the write off, and then also, I think in a tax perspective, it's just a bit easier to manage. Whereas like if you're hired on for like one day and getting paid hourly, like the clinic is gonna like it doesn't make sense for them. Yeah.
I guess from that perspective, do you mentioning the aspect of having to travel multiple, obviously not yourself, but like people in your.
I did though. I did, but now I don't. That's why.
So how is that comparison to a regular job? When you were at a full time at a clinic, was it seeing the same patients better? Was it having that change of pace of being able to go to different clinics change?
I actually did enjoy going to different clinics because it made my week kind of different every other day. Now I'm going to the same place. Not saying it's boring because I really like where I am now.
Yeah.
But before it was really I kind of found it fun. I was like, okay, I get to drive.
Changes, yeah.
I get to drive to like East York, work there for a bit, then come back to like Mississauga.
Let's say I'm just gonna progress this forward about a couple months. Would they give you the same clientele as you go to, like, say you have 3 locations, just for argument's sake? 3 locations, Monday to Friday, Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah.
Do they give you the same patients to see, or they give you just whatever that comes to the door?
In our kind of like healthcare position, like continuity is really, really important. So if we do an initial, like seeing the patient the first time, generally like if you have a good rapport with the client, then they'll want to continue seeing you because you know their file the best, right? Their medical history.
For sure.
Yeah. So ideally, like if I'm doing every other day working there, then I will plan out, hey, these are the days I'm here, so come back on maybe every Wednesday or Friday. And then if I were working on Tuesday, Thursday at a different clinic, then I'll be like, I'm here Tuesday, Thursday, so just come in. So basically, I would say on a week-to-week basis, the returning clientele is actually the same on those days.
Do you like returning clientele?
I mean, it depends, right?
Like, are you more attached to your clientele if they're returning?
Of course, yeah. But then when you build a rapport, you kind of understand their personality, and obviously, not everyone's gonna like you, and you're not gonna like everyone else, right? Right?
No, facts.
Like if you work with like a client that, they're paying you, but like, man, you hate their guts. You're like, damn, like I wish they just leave.
Yeah, no,
but like
that's every job.
Yeah,
almost.
it's every job, right? Like you're not gonna get 100% like happiness in all your
boss is like, I love you, dude. Like,
Yeah. No, I get that a lot, and I'm like, damn, I hate you so much. But you know what? If you like me and you think I'm doing a good job, then
I like you too.
Yeah.
Only because you're paying me.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead. I wanted to ask that because it's a question everybody always has in their mind. Obviously, you care about your parents, and I'm sure parents. Wow.
Yes.
I think everybody cares about their parents. I'm sure everybody cares about their patients, and as someone who is on the other end of this, this equation, I'm obviously coming in as a patient. What is your biggest philosophy that you share with your patients when it comes to taking care of them?
I think education. We have a lot of misinformation out in the world.
Oh, tons.
Right? Like everyone is a WebMD, full doctorate.
Dude,
right? ChatGPT.
ChatGPT every symptom possible.
Right?
It's pretty accurate, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure. I mean, obviously, like the information is there, so like I'm sure there's some accuracy.
Yeah.
But I think it's the fear.
Yeah, no,
right?
for sure.
Like when you read all the symptoms that matches yours, and you're like, oh, that's me. That's
I'm
me.
dying.
Like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
That's like the first thing.
That's
like,
the first thing I'm dying.
This won't heal. It's like, well, like the idea of physio is like, I'm an educator. I like to say I'm an educator to most of my clients because I'm like, I may not be right every single time. It's impossible. Like if I wasn't, like, I would have my own clinic and just like lines and lines of people coming at me. All right. But yeah, like education is so important. Like telling them like, yes, these seem to match what you're saying, but doing physio isn't just about like getting rid of those symptoms. It's about a lifestyle change. You're honestly, at some point, if you're coming to see me for physio, there's something wrong in your lifestyle that's causing you to be in this problem, right? So I think that's like my main philosophy as a physiotherapist.
It's crazy you mentioned like your habits outside, the habits you build kind of lead to these injuries. I just be dunking on, man. My shoulder hurts all the time. It's crazy.
When are you dunking?
Yeah, just say, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, because you don't dunk enough. That's the problem. You gotta dunk more.
No, I've been going through physiotherapy and for my shoulder, and it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And so I give you guys full credit for my therapy and me getting better. But it's just funny because I was explaining to my therapist, my physiotherapist, my symptoms and stuff, and she's like, yeah, I know exactly what's wrong. I'm like, I thought I was speaking full gibberish for the last 5 minutes, but I think it's a super.
And they'll touch the exact spot. You're like, I hurt so much. You're like,
pinch it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying. And she's like, no, you're fine.
It's like, how do you know?
How did you know? I just said like 5 minutes of just absolute jargon that I don't. If you ask me to repeat what I said, I'm like, I have no idea what I just said. So it's always funny hearing your side of the stories of people hearing these stories.
I joke around with my clients all the time. Like, I just pretend I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I
like,
fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. What's the craziest like do-it-yourself treatment you've ever heard someone do before coming to see physiotherapy?
Do it yourself.
Like for me, like I've currently have I have a trigger finger, right? So
Yeah.
3 of my fingers don't usually lock in well, and
Yeah.
so I do exercises to sort of help and straighten that. And
You Googled it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I googled it. And I also saw my sister,
Yeah.
and she gave me some ideas.
Right.
I currently have a splint, but before I had the splint, I would like put my hand against the wall and I would just stretch it out
Right.
like severely
Yeah.
as much as
Okay.
possible to get that bend
Yeah.
on the tendon.
Yeah.
Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I guess this felt good. So,
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Uh,
Unless this was the actual most interesting story you've heard so far.
no. Actually, it was recent.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say, I mean, I don't know if it was really self-treatment, because
Okay.
they actually didn't do anything. But basically, I had a client come in. He was saying how like he couldn't walk for 2 months.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, 2 months, and you didn't
Jesus.
decide to go to like the ER, the hospital? He's like, no. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, I put like a compression sleeve like for his foot, and he's like, I just rested it for 2 months. And so he's kind of walking now. He was limping when he came to see me. And I was like, oh, okay, like let's check it out. Like, what's wrong? Because like, he was walking, so I didn't have a lot of concern. But I was just like, you didn't? Like, but I was like, you literally couldn't walk. So yeah, I couldn't walk. I didn't put weight on it. And I was like, oh, okay. So then he took off his sleeve. I looked at it. I didn't even touch it. I looked at it. I'm like,
That's broken.
I'm pretty sure he ruptured his Achilles. I was like, oh, okay, like cool, like lie down, let me do an assessment and stuff. And I was like, as I was like getting down to the ankle, the Achilles part, and I was like feeling it out and stuff, and I was like, bro, it's torn. But it's definitely healed, but I was
Yeah.
like, it was torn.
Yeah.
But he didn't actually allow it to heal properly, so it wasn't like
Structurally,
like properly together. So then I was like, you need to go see a doctor right now. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I was like, and I'm like, you know, still come. Like, I'm still gonna treat it, because he was like saying how it was still painful.
Yeah.
One session, he was like, oh, I'm not in pain anymore. Oh,
Duh.
in my head, I was like,
Duh.
not even. I was like, oh, what? No way. Like, what do you mean? Like, I barely did anything, to be honest. But I was like, I'll take it, right?
Now, how
'Cause
old is this person?
he was probably about 43. Young guy. He was playing badminton. He told me he was playing badminton. And I'm like, did you hear a pop or snap? He's like, no, I don't think so. But then he's like, I couldn't walk. I was like, okay.
That's a KD injury, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah,
It's a
it's KD injury.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
And
God.
then, yeah, he managed to like kind of treat it, I
That's
guess, sort
crazy.
of, for 2 months. And he came to see me. And then he just recently got it confirmed. Like, yeah, there was definitely some full
You think?
tear.
You
But
think?
it's healed. It's definitely healed. He approximated himself, but it just couldn't, it's not, how can I say, like, it's not like moving properly. Like, you know how like you can go up and down like
Yeah,
that?
you dangle it.
But like he couldn't really do it. I was like, damn, I gotta like figure that out. I gotta help him get there.
Oh man, when
Yeah.
I say crazy, I don't think people
Yeah.
actually just rupture their Achilles and be like, yeah, I'm
Yeah, I was like,
fine.
I was mind blown. I literally called,
Fine.
I called my boss. I was like, yo, come check this out. Like, am I tripping? I was like, look at this. He's like, what's wrong with that?
you're taking photos, sending them on
Yeah.
WhatsApp. He's like, yo, dude, that's that.
I was like,
That's
this is
torn.
crazy. Yeah. I was like, and also like, you know how like, I mean, if you're not really fat, like your Achilles blend nicely and make a nice little tight.
Dent,
It's
yeah,
tight, right? Like
yeah.
you feel it.
Yeah,
it
you
was
grab
gone. It was just like one thick thing. I was like, what is going on here?
That's crazy to me, man. I don't think I've ever, like I've had injuries in my
Yeah.
life as well, like tons of injuries,
Yeah.
but nothing that I've broken or I
Yeah.
maybe have some slight tears here and there.
Yeah.
But like whenever I go through anything, I immediately like recently my shoulder, like when I had a shoulder problem,
Yeah.
my tendons came out of place,
Yeah.
and so I've noticed it when I was turning the wheel on the car,
Yeah.
and I made another turn and my hand dropped again. I'm
Yeah.
like, Jesus, I thought my shoulder popped out of place
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm like it happened twice, and
Yeah.
then I went to go see my physiotherapist, and she's like, your tendons are inflamed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird because I was like, you know, most people would actually get it.
yeah,
checked.
no, that was the same
Like,
day I checked.
I mean, as minor as an ankle roll, people will go to the ER to the
Okay,
an
yeah,
X-ray,
the ankle
right?
roll,
Like things
yeah,
happen. People
yeah.
do that, and I'm like, people are generally like more like, oh my god, be active, proactive. Like I didn't get the
It's
check.
free. It's
Yeah.
free. If
And
it
then-
wasn't free, I guarantee they'd
Yeah.
be like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'll die.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm surprised that you didn't want to get this checked like
Yeah.
earlier. But yeah, but you know, we're dealing with it now.
Just
So
ship him
we're-
out for America. Yeah, you'll be fine.
yeah.
I'll just
so-
sit at home all day anyways. He
Yeah.
sees that medical bill. You know, obviously, I think the biggest thing with physiotherapists, what I find funny, and I think it's hilarious, but correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you play some sort of video games and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right? So do you ever pick the healer?
Priest, right? Like the healer is like, yeah.
Does it acclimate to your actual
Yeah,
job?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
The crazy reason I bring that up is that you guys are healers technically, right? You're our healers
Yes.
that provide, doctors give you medicine, they give you
Yeah.
symptoms and stuff, and then they ship you off to you guys, and you
Yes.
guys give us the actual
Yes.
directions of how to improve. So you're a healer. But every time you guys say healer, there's some death that comes alongside with it. Now you guys do the pain first, and then the healing comes afterwards.
Yes.
What's more fun?
The pain. Yeah. Definitely the pain.
Yeah?
I don't know. I think we're just like that, I guess. I don't know.
Well, on that note, Ivan, a pleasure obviously having you on the episode. I really appreciate you coming out. And with that being said, peace. See you next week.